Yes, you lovely people, if you're not already, make sure you give us a follow over on Spotify.
He was good as gold, and in the end he said to Antonio, he went, apologise to Mr. Stack. I'm going, what? I'm going, Jesus, I've just absolutely turned this one round.
Hello everybody, I'm Ben Foster. This is the Fozcast, and today we are joined by a good friend of ours, actually. He is the current Watford FC under-23 goalkeeper coach. He's had a different upbringing into the football world, which we're going to hear about in a minute. He's played for teams such as Arsenal, Hibs, he even went to India for a little bit. Graham Stack, how are you, mate?
I'm blooded. Thanks for having me.
Come here, mate. You okay?
Yeah, very good, thanks. All good.
First of all, thanks for joining us, mate. I know you've got some absolutely belting stories to tell, and I'm sure we're going to get into a few of them in a little bit. Before we get started, though, right, I want to talk about your football upbringing, because you told me some of these stories before about kind of before football, you know what I mean, 13, 14, 15, growing up in a pub, all that kind of stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
It was crazy, yeah?
Yeah, listen, it was...
Or was it normal for you?
I think at the time you don't really process what's going on around you. It's just that was normality. So my mum sort of got quite a big Irish family. Football was just run through the blood of our family. It was all football.
What, all players? They were all players?
No, just a love for just a love for football, really. Dad used to take me football up and down the country watching QPR, Sunday League. He was up and down the country. You know what it's like when you got your dad and your mum supporting you, taking you around the country for games. And,
so at this point, you were in the Arsenal Academy?
No, this was so. I started off. It's crazy, really, because I thought I was going to be an outfielder. I never, for any minute, expected to sort of be a goalie. But I went on a residential goalkeeping school with Bob Wilson. Ended up playing in goal because at the time we were living in pubs in West London, and it was mum and dad didn't really want me hanging around.
What sort of pubs were we living in?
I lived in a pub called the White Hart, which is near Twickenham Rugby Ground.
Yeah.
And I lived in a pub called the Shire Horse, which is in Hounslow, which is pretty notorious, to be fair. So
lively.
Very. Yeah, it was very lively. We actually, it's funny. The first pub we had was called the White Hart, and nearly never come out. We had a fire. I remember being upstairs, so my dad had obviously had people managing the bar downstairs, and I was sat upstairs with my dad, and we were just watching TV, or we were watching a boxing one evening, and there was a power shortage on the TV, and my dad was like, "That's unusual. Wonder what's happening there? Must be a power cut." So my dad's a sparky as well by trade, so he's thinking I'll sort this out in no time, and he's gone to sort the TV, and he could smell burning.
Oof.
So we had my uncle was living with us at the time. My uncle had moved in for a little bit. And we had a loft conversion, and he used to have this electric fire upstairs because it was a loft basically converted into a room, and my uncle had actually left a ham and cheese toasting next to this electric fire, and we used to have we used to have a pit bull, and we used to have a lab as well, like 2 pub dogs that were like security, if you like, and obviously the dogs obviously smelt the toasty out.
Tried to get it.
He's done the toasty, but he's done the fire as well, the electric fire. So the fire has obviously fallen over and set the whole upstairs on flames, and it was engulfed in flames. So my dad literally, as soon as he smelt the fire, he ran upstairs, stuck his head in, and it was carnage. It was going up. The pub was going up. So obviously grabbed me. I remember being at school, funny enough, and everything. We just left everything behind. Come downstairs and fire engines everywhere. Remember staying at my friend's house for a few days. I think a lot of people thought my old man was trying to have a carve up with the insurance.
Yeah.
But he weren't.
It was genuine,
because it was a good business. My dad was flying. My mum and dad were flying. It was right outside Twickenham Rugby Ground. It was like
lively as you
like a 5-minute walk. So in terms of like where they were financially, they were in a good place, and that's the last thing that wanted to happen. But yeah, it was funny. Yeah, nearly died in there, but yeah, managed to get out. But yeah, so going back to sort of my upbringing, with football and how it all started for me, it was mad because I used to play on field for my school. I used to play for my borough in central midfield. I played for my county as a centre half, Surrey schools, and then I just started sort of playing and goal occasionally.
What age though?
One of my dad's mates was working for QPR when I was about 9 years of age. And he said, "Does your boy want to come in and train?" It was in near Ealing, at this training centre. So my dad went, yeah, be right up for that. So I've gone in there and sort of doing all right. They said, like, bring it back. So bring me back. About a month or so later, Phil Parks, the goalie coach, was training, and it was at Barclays, and Tony Roberts and Dave Seaman were training. I remember watching, and he was like, "You all right, son?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Come over, come and say hello." And I was like, "That, wow, this is Dave Seaman."
Yeah,
like, I knew who Dave Seaman was. Do you know what I mean? And I was a QPR fan. I was madly like, and the fact that I was going into QPR training and I'm getting to meet sort of Big Dave, I was sort of blown away by it all. And then just kept going back, and then there was no goalie coach, and then it was a bit of a mess, to be fair. Stopped going in, and then went on Bob Wilson's goalkeeping school, and then Arsenal said.
So this goalkeeping school is literally just like,
it's a residential.
Yeah, anybody that's half decent in goal, come along.
No, you don't even have to be half decent.
Really? It's just for anyone.
Yeah.
So it's like a soccer camp.
It's like a soccer camp. It's a residential camp, and I remember going there. The coaches were different class, like Alex Welsh, Mick Payne, Hildy. There was some Hans Sagers was there.
Wow, yeah.
They were top coaches.
Yeah.
They were brilliant, and I absolutely loved it. But while I was on the course, I won goalkeeper of the course.
Nice.
And at the end of the course, David Seaman presented me with a signed shirt, which I've still got to this day. It was like the green JVC one.
Yeah.
Which was like,
oh, that's a beautiful shirt. That is as well, isn't it? Yeah, has it got the Adidas things down the side? Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
We used to have it up in our pub. Funny enough, we used to have a sports bar.
Yeah.
We used to have some of my old shirts and that in there. So I'd done really well on this course, and Bob Wilson sort of said to my man. He said, "Listen," he said, "Your boy's got a bit." He said, "I think we should, I think I should speak to Arsenal and see if we can get him in." But at the time, I was at Arsenal on trial as a midfielder.
What on earth?
Yeah, so they spoke to, I think it might have been Steve Rowley, and they went, what's his name? Where's he from? Graham Stack, from Hounslow. He's in already. He's a midfielder. Bob was went, no, he's definitely going to be a goalie. So I went into Arsenal and I was on trial. It was like, I've done 4 weeks on pitch, 4 weeks in goal, and then I had to make a decision. So
where do you make the decision? How do you make the decision at that point? Who are you listening to? Who are you talking to?
Probably my dad, really.
Yeah.
Because my dad's going, look, Bob Wilson thinks you're going to be he thinks you've got a chance.
You've got to listen when Bob Wilson says something.
Have a chance, then we're going to listen to what Bob says.
Yeah.
And that was it, really. It just took off from there. Just stayed in goal ever since.
Mate, you're a trendsetter. Do you know why? Because in the modern game of football, right, if like you work in the Watford Academy now, and if you get somebody who's a midfielder who can play in goal, mate, that's the dream ticket. Yeah. Honestly, if you can take this midfielder with his skill and ability with his feet and go right and stop the balls going in the back of the net, that's the evolution of goalkeeping, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. Well, you look now, listen, me and you've worked together, so we kind of know what it looks like, but being able to play out and be comfortable in possession is like massive now, even at kids. So my boy he's 9, he's at Watford, he's in the academy, but he was the same. He used to play up front and in central midfield. Yeah. And I always thought he might end up playing in goal because he's a bit wild, my youngest. And
we played a few weeks ago, so it was I think it was after the Burnley game, the first time I'd played in a few weeks and whatever, and you brought him in for training on a Sunday, right? So we were just in for the warm down, and he's walked over to me. He is the most confident lad you've ever met in your life, right? And he's gone, "Fozzie," and I've gone, "All right, mate, are you all right?" Yeah. He's gone, "Yeah. What's happening, mate?" So he's talking about the team. Yeah, he's talking about the team, right? He's gone, "What's happening, mate?" And I was like, "What? It was 0-0. I didn't let any in." He's putting me on the back foot, by the way.
I had a pop at him about that.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a pop at him about that.
He was gold. Honestly,
I love him having the confidence, and the kid's got a real personality. Because for me, sometimes now, one thing I have noticed working with a lot of kids, a lot of these kids just don't have any personality, or any character. Not with kids I'm working with, but in general. Obviously, I do a lot of stuff with local schools as well, and I've obviously got my own football academy. So I'm definitely seeing a change in these young kids. So what I don't want to do with my son is take that off him.
Yeah, of course.
Because I want him to be a character. Because listen, I think you've got to be charismatic, and I think you've got to have a personality. But when he said to Fozzie, "You've got to stop letting goals in," I felt like saying, "Wait, son, respect who you're speaking to. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, I'm gonna let him. I let him say it, and he walked off. And I thought, we're gonna talk about that when we get home.
He goes, what's happening? You got to stop letting goals. And I went, it was 0-0 yesterday. I'm like defending myself, right? I went, it was 0-0 yesterday. It's not me. I can't score as well, mate. All right. And he goes, anyway, he just went, yeah. You watching me later, yeah? And I'm like, I've got training. And I felt bad for it, honestly. You watching me later? I don't know, mate.
He's confident. But obviously, he started playing out on pitch, and he's at Watford now. And I could see him on pitch. Like, he was a good player.
Yeah.
But the penny dropped for me. He played in a quarter for Watford against MK Dons in goal, and was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is what I expected.
Yeah.
Sort of kind of thought it might look like this for him when he goes in goal, because he was flying around like a lunatic. Yeah. He was covered head to toe in mud. He was flying at people's feet. He was shouting at people. Thinking, that's not bad for an 8-year-old. That's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
do you do much with him at home? Do you ever get him in goal and diving around or anything like that?
Not as much as I should, because when you got 4 kids, it's
you got to share about that.
And I'm obviously working. I work in the evening sometimes, and it's trying to find that balance, really. Listen, we do. He comes with my goalkeeping stuff I do during a week, 2 evenings a week. He gets a lot of football now. He gets a lot of coaching, but I also didn't want to coach him too much too early.
Yeah.
I want him to have fun. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can take that off the kids.
Yeah.
And so MK Dons have said to me, do you mind if your son plays for us? Because at the time you're not contracted. It's just like you're free to play for anyone. And I said, yeah. I said, I'll speak to the staff at Watford. I see no reason why not. We want him to play in goal. I said, all right, fine. I said, who are you playing? They went, Chelsea. I went, oh, where is it? They went at the training ground. I said, oh, we're definitely playing that.
Yeah, of course.
Because I want him to go and see what
Chelsea looks like. Yeah.
So we're on the way there, and I'm trying to give him that little pep talk, saying, listen, son, you know you're not like a goalie, and you know you just started, and you're probably going to let quite a few in.
Enjoy it.
He's going, no, I won't. I said, no, you're playing Chelsea. I said, look, these are going to be really good. He went, nah. He went, I won't let. I went, all right, we'll see. So obviously he turned up at Chelsea, blown away by all the drive. It's unreal. And he's walking out on the pitch, and I'm looking at these boys from Chelsea, these under 8s, I think they might have been at the time. And I'm going, wow, the size of them.
Giants.
Those giants all look like they're going to be top athletes as well.
Yeah.
And he's played in goal. I think he's let 6 or 7 in, really, in like the first 20 minutes. And I'm thinking, right, I knew this was coming, but he obviously didn't. So how do I pick this little fella up after? Do you know what I mean? So you just got to be so positive. You just got to, because when they're that little, it's quite. I thought this is actually what I thought was going to be a really good experience for him. Yeah, actually might be quite damaging for him. Yeah. So I wanted to try and protect him a little bit. But he was all right, but because of the character he is, it was just like, he just shrugged it off as if to say, like, don't matter.
Mate, he's definitely got that up at his old man then. I would love to have seen you back in the day, mate, honestly. I can just imagine you in the youth team, go all the way through the ranks and stuff, like lively as you like. But like you said a minute ago there, young lads don't have that anymore, do they?
Yeah, that's one thing I look for. Like, listen, everyone's different. I work with, let's say I've got 6 goalies in my PDP, in my group. They are all really different. Yeah. So you've worked with them.
Yeah,
Dante's quite a serious character at times. He's quite reserved. He's quite laid back. Miles is quite forthcoming. So Parksy's probably a bit too laid back. Yeah. And then, do you know what I mean? Alfie Marriott really calm and controlled.
Yeah,
they're all real different characters.
They are, aren't they?
And you can't listen. If there was 11 ranters and ravers in a team, it wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean?
You got to have a mix of all sorts.
You got to have a mix. But I do think being a goalkeeper, I mean, Bob Wilson wrote a book, didn't he, called Crazy once, and it was all about goalkeepers being sort of mad. Yeah. And to be fair, I do believe there's a lot of truth in that. Yeah. But I think now goalies used to be seen as quite dopey or sort of slow or unfit. But you look at goalies now, goalies are like, they're at the goalies I've got in the academy that I look after, one of them's the fastest in the academy. Yeah. The other one jumps the highest. Like Dante, he jumps like 54 centimetres.
He's a joke,
Bogdan's lightning quick. Miles is like an Olympic athlete. They're all. That's the way I want my goalies to be. Yeah. And see pre-season, when they run to win. Yeah. They're not running to make the numbers up. And I want them to beat each other. Yeah. And I put them together because I want to see who's got the character. If you don't win, that's fine, but I want to see you dig in. Yeah. And I want to see how far you want to go. And to be fair to the goalies, they take that on board. And I know before they come back in, they train. because I know there's that little thing in their head that goes, right, I've got to come back and I've got to be in front of him, which is, I think, the right mentality.
Being competitive, like that's the only reason I made it to be a footballer, because I am the most competitive person in the world.
Yeah.
Like I've said to you this before, and I say it to all the other goalies as well. Like I say to Rob Elliott and Dan Batman at football, like when we go out for training, whatever exercise it is we're doing, even if it's the first 10 volleys of the exercise, it's a competition in my head. So I will make sure I've caught my 10 clean, and then I will watch them do it. And if they drop one or don't catch it cleanly, I'm winning. I'm winning. And I do it for everything. And then I finish the training session, I'll go, who won that training session? I won that training session. That's what I'll do. I will, honestly. And I think that's what will tell me when I want to retire, when I'm no longer winning all the time.
I've done it like when I was coming through, listen, I would never claim to have the most ability. I've definitely played with goalies that were better than myself. Stewie Taylor was probably a better goalie than me in terms of.
So who were some of the goalies that you came up with for the ranks in that?
The main one really was me and Stewie Taylor.
Yeah,
was another,
lovely lad, isn't he? Yeah,
Stewie's different class. I saw Stewie at Tottenham the other day at Hale End. The other day, his boy was playing for Tottenham against Arsenal, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And obviously he's an ex-Arsenal player. My boy was playing for Watford against Arsenal. Nice. And I just bumped into him and we had a little chat. But Stewie was a good goalie. It helps when you're 6'5" like Stewie.
Yeah, God, yeah.
That's he walks in the building, you're going, wow, what a lovely frame.
Yeah.
But he was a good goalie. Technically, he was really sound. He kicked the ball a mile. And he was my direct competition, and he was someone that I always knew that I'd have a battle on my hands to take over. Now, if you know you're weaker in certain aspects of your game than somebody else, you need to find ways that are going to give you an edge and get you in front. So it was definitely my work ethic, and I'd say that pretty much against most other goalies that I've ever worked with. My work ethic and my desire to train and improve in other aspects of my game, like my physical strength or whatever it might be. I'd always make sure I do the graft.
Interesting. Stackie, when you said about weaknesses in your game, so like anyone, any sport, any walk of life, you'll have things you're really good at and things that you're not so good at. Was your opinion that you needed to work on the things you weren't as good at, or focus on the things you're really good at? I
think there's both. So I think what you can't do, you can't neglect the things you're doing really well or you're good at, because once you lose focus of that, that's what you are. And then I wasn't great at taking crosses. I don't even think I was great at it. I just probably never come for enough earlier on in my career. Yeah. Because I was frightened of failing. I was frightened of coming out and missing one or dropping one. And I think once you've planted that seed, it's very hard. I needed someone to say, look, just come. It don't matter. That's what I say now to some young keepers.
If your manager says it,
if you come, obviously you can't keep coming and making the wrong decision. I said, but once you come, you come and take one cleanly, 3 bodies, you're going, wow, it feels good.
Man, I'm going to have a good game today.
You know that.
If you're down in the first minute of the game, your game's set. Like I honestly think, even better, even more than making a world class save. I agree. Coming out and taking a cross from a corner in the first minute of the game sets you up for a game better than anything else, doesn't it?
And what do they do in the last minute when you come and take one? And the centre halves are giving you a pat on the back, giving you a high five, because that's massive, because it just takes all the pressure off. But it wasn't I weren't good at it. I just felt like I was making the wrong decisions. Like I'd be coming and I'd be like, what am I doing? I'm never going to get that. Or I'd stay on my line and I'm like, oh my God, I should have come and got that. And it's in the back of the net. So that was something that I probably could have improved on, in fairness. But I've always said, listen, crossings are really difficult. It's a difficult thing to practice for a goalkeeper, because you need chaos. You need people in the box. You need contact, and
people taking your eyes off like the ball and stuff. So when you got people moving, and like you can practice it in training, still not quite the same.
You can get your timing.
You can get your timing, but you need people moving about, giving you a little bump, all that kind of stuff, because it takes your eye off that ball. But you need to look at that ball, be moving your feet in like an anticipation, or reading the run of a player who might get in your way, all that kind of stuff. It's not easy, is it?
Yeah. So I mean, listen, that's probably why I end up having the career I did. I would probably say, for me, and to be fair, that's my family life as well. That's the way I am as a person. I do graft, and my kids have. I think my kids would definitely. They've got no choice. They're
grafting.
They have to. Yeah, they're working on my football camp now.
Really? Yeah. Good lads. I love that.
She's 14.
Kids, the girls as well. I love it.
Register, and my other 2 boys just sort of they do it. Saves childcare as well. So they come and do the camp. They love it anyway.
You bang on though, Stackie. Like I know me and you're exactly the same. Like my kids are good better at certain things than other sports, and at school, you know, they're decent at school. But like the one thing I won't tolerate, and you're the same, is if they haven't put in a shift, and that could be at school, at sports, or anything. Because that's the worst thing, is when you watch your kid and you know that they haven't quite dug in.
Yeah,
it's the worst, isn't it?
Well, with my kids, I'd like to think they're quite clever kids. They're sharp kids, especially my eldest. She's a really bright girl, and in terms of like work, you know, going back to work ethic and sort of doing stuff, I went to university at 35.
Yeah.
Because not because I was uneducated or I wasn't the brightest, but I almost wanted to prove to my kids that daddy's capable of doing loads of stuff. Daddy's got a football academy. Daddy's works at schools. Daddy works for Watford. Now daddy's going to go and do a degree. And they were like, and I think that was quite powerful, because when the kids see that you are like, it is 100 mile an hour in my house. It's full on. So then
I've been in his house. It is 100 mile an hour in his house. Yeah. Those kids are skimming off the wall. Like, energy to burn.
Yeah, and then you're a taxi driver, and then you're trying. There's just so much going on. So I thought probably bad timing, but I was sort of coming to the end of my career, and I was like, right, what do I do now? How do I plan? What do I love? What am I good at? And I thought, right, let's go down the professional broadcasting and sports writing route. So I'd done that, and I think that was important for the kids to see that dad's able to just do more than one thing.
Yeah, you could be just happy settling on being a goalie coach. You can do it for the rest of your career, your rest of your life, basically.
Listen, if it paid hundreds of thousands a year, then
it's a different thing.
That's a different conversation.
Course,
but my circumstances weren't that I was able to do that. So, as I say, you have to think outside the box.
So right, take us back to we're in the Arsenal academy. Was it the academy then? Youth team? Yeah. What's day-to-day life like? Are you progressing? You're doing well? All that kind of stuff?
Our academy was unbelievable. So I was thinking about this the other day. So obviously when we were young kids and that, we were coming through, you see now some goalies have got a first team goalkeeping coach, an assistant goalkeeping coach. They've got an under-23s goalie coach, an 18s goalie coach, and a head of goalkeeping, for example, at some clubs. Back in the day, there was Bob Wilson.
Yeah.
So that was it. So the under 18 goalies and the under 17s goalies, like me and Stewie Taylor, we would train every day with Bob Wilson.
Oh, really? Yeah. So the whole lot, he would do everything.
It would be Bob Wilson. It would be me.
Bob Wilson, a legend, yeah?
Unbelievable. What man.
Yeah.
What a man.
I love that.
His hips were hanging off and he was still finding ways
what a guy.
to pull the trigger. He was a ledge. And he never reinvented the wheel. It was keep the ball at the back of the net.
Boom.
Pretty simple. Catch it if you can. If you can't, just save it.
A lot to be said for that, isn't it?
Right. That was really simple. And Dave Seaman didn't do too bad, did he? So it was Alex Meninga, David Seaman, John Lukage, me and Stewie Taylor. That was kind of our five
that's not a bad five, you know.
And that was and we had Richard Wright. Richard Wright came in, so Wrighty came in.
Came in for a lot of money, Richard Wright, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
British transfer record, I think, at one point, weren't
it? It was, yeah. It didn't quite work out for Wrighty, to be fair, but yeah, you look at that. Like, I was 16, and I was like, I'm training with Dave. He's playing for England.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Like, you can't give that to kids now. Nah. Like, imagine that opportunity. That's why when our goalies go over with you, I say, listen, do not waste a minute. I said, watch everything he does, listen to everything he says, because trust me, these opportunities are few and far between.
Yeah.
So don't go over there, don't go through the motions, don't start sloppy, don't become his mate. He's not your mate. You're looking up to him. So don't be friendly and have a relationship with him, a professional one. But sometimes I find that when you've got the GK union, sometimes in training it can become a little bit.
Yeah. Do you know what? Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? Right. Whenever we get any of the young lads over, I will train harder in that training session than I would train if we had, I don't know, somebody who's just joined the club or what. When the young lads come over, I will make a point of training harder than anyone else. That's its own competition for me, yeah? I will make sure I get up off the ground quicker, yeah? I'm ready for the next one quicker.
Why is that? Because you're showing them
I'm showing that to level, yeah. But I want them to come over and go, that guy's 38 years old and he's faster than me, he's quicker than me, he gets up quicker than me, he's got better hands than me, he's everything, right? And I won't say I'm horrible to him. I'm definitely not horrible to him. I can't say that. That's way too hard. But I am on them. Like when the young lads come over, I will make a point of going, lazy, that's lazy. You know it's lazy. And when I say lazy, I don't mean he's not trying. What I mean is you can do everything sharply. You can do it fast and quick and everything. You can get your feet a couple steps so that you can catch the ball instead of just standing where you are and pushing it away, which would then lead to maybe a corner or somebody putting it back in from an angle or something. I'd say that's lazy, and they'll go, yeah, but it would only take 2 or 3 doing it, and then they're on it and they realise what it is. But
it's pressure, isn't it?
It's good that when it comes from another voice.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're a coach, it's your voice.
It's like
your
your
voice,
parent. You're like a parent. Yeah.
And sometimes it's nice for a senior goalie to step in and you tell him, because it means more.
Yeah.
Ben Foster's telling them what to do. That means far more than me continuously telling him where he's going wrong. But yes, obviously very fortunate to be training with them goalies from such a young age. But I mean, our youth team was frightening. So I mean, without going through the whole team, we had like Jay Bothroyd plays for England.
Yeah.
Stephen Sidwell, Jerome Thomas, Jermaine Pennant.
Was
we had
Ashley
Morris
Cole
Bolts. Ashley Cole was a year above me.
Who's the lad you were telling me about ages ago? He was like the biggest thing ever. But
David Noble.
What's his name?
David Noble.
David Noble. I don't know if you remember this kid. I remember him as a youngster because I was coming up. I was a young player.
Noble, was he less?
Yeah. No, it was Bristol City.
He was the next. He was like that next like
big
thing through Arsenal. Played a couple of games for the first team, and everybody at one point was like, "Well, he's just going to be. He's going to be." Was he a central midfielder?
He was a central midfielder. Yeah. He went to Lillishore Nobes. It was like him and Joe Cole. To be fair, were like, they were like Nobes reminding me of Gaza.
They're just ahead of everyone else.
He was just doing
everything.
Things. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, as a kid. He was he was like so confident as a kid. And I remember thinking, like, I was so gutted he was so good because I wanted to play midfield, and I was like, I wish he weren't that good. I'd have a chance. You know what I mean? But he used to wear a Van Basten top to training, and I remember I think it was only me and him in the change room. To this day, we talk about it, and it was at Highbury in the JVC centre downstairs. And I don't know how this has started, but we've basically near on had a punch up. It's only me. I have no idea. It was me and him. There was no one else in the change room. And I think it was because I was so gutted he was so good. I think I've just...
Did you say to him, mate, I wish you weren't so good?
Yeah, and I remember coming out. My mum used to get to train with me. I was only about 12 or 13. I was going to Arsenal from Hounslow. And I said, oh, Mum, my mum said, you all right? I said, yeah. I said, no, you're not going to believe it. I went, I've just had a fight with one of the boys. She went, not Van Basten, was it? In other words, don't fall out with the best player at the club. Do you know what I mean? Make sure it's not him. And now we're best mates. Like, I was at his 40th recently, but I hate to miss people out. But we had John Halls right back.
Yeah,
we
John
had
Halls. Yeah,
Ben Chorley, centre half, captain. Like we just had so many top players that went on to have top careers. John Halls is probably one of the biggest models in the world.
Yeah, he is. And he does all sorts. He does it. I was at Stoke with John Halls for a bit. Yeah. Mate, I remember him walking through the doors. Right? I think I was 18, 19 at the time. And I remember him walking in through the doors on loan from Arsenal, right? He had a Range Rover. And first, straight away, everyone was like, he's got a Range Rover Vogue. Oh, my God. And then he bowls through it, and he is a million, mate. Honestly, the most handsome man you've ever seen in your life. Like, dresses like you wouldn't believe.
I try not to go out of him.
Yeah, mate, he must be. He would just be clicking people. You come here. Honestly, he was incredible. What a guy.
Yeah, we used to have Don Howe. Don Howe was out. This is brilliant. So Don Howe, legend.
Yeah,
legend. We all went to his funeral. We all loved Don to pieces. He was a real. He was our youth team coach. I've got Bob Wilson, my goalie coach. I've got Don Howe, my youth team coach. I've got Liam Brady, who was. Like academy, sort of almost
just
like an academy
director.
He would be like your equivalent to like your academy manager or your academy director now. Wow. That's what Liam was. Legends. They like looking after our youth team. And I remember one day we had some players that just they could turn it on like that. So sometimes in training they would mess about because things were too easy because they were just such talented kids. And I remember we were doing some crossing and finishing once, and someone like crossed the ball over the bar, and then someone's done it again, and Don Howe went, right, that's it. Don Howe must have been in his 70s. Don Howe has got the ball at right back. He's dribbling down the line. He's come inside. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's gonna keel over. Don, what you doing? But he was just so enthusiastic. We all loved him because he was just his standards and his levels were just he would not let the levels drop off. Because of him, I felt as though he just because he was such an icon, a coaching icon, and he's gone to World Cups. if Don said it, like that was it.
We had
to do it properly. But the enthusiasm of him, like running down the line in 70 yard, like
do you think that's what's kind of? Do you think that's what's sort of missing with some of the young players nowadays? Is having that kind of authority above them and people that? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like
changed, haven't they? Yeah,
times have changed. And what I mean by that is, like, I feel like some of the young lads, it's almost like they're just wrapped in cotton wool. Do you know what I mean? You can't shout at them. You can't tell them to do this. It's like you have to advise them. Try this, try that. And you have to be a bit nicey.
Do they clean boots in the changing rooms out anymore?
Not really. In my youth team, we had to clean the bus out. We had to sweep the changing rooms. We used to have to bring kit back to Highbury. We'd do boots, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But now I think it's become, there's a lot of red tape over stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, of course,
Kids can't do that, kids can't do this. And I'm not being funny, it didn't do me any harm.
Yeah.
And the fact that Dave seemed to give me 200 quid at Christmas was nice.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, you were his boot boy,
I was his boot boy, yeah.
Mate, can I got to say this because we had him on the pod the other night, right? And first of all, what a guy. Gentleman, like, just the nicest man. His hands, Stackie, his hands, they're like a bear paw. It was quite literally a bear
massive
paw, right?
Yeah,
so if I put my two hands like that was the size of his one hand, right? Yeah. And I shook his hand when he walked in and went, "Hello, mate, nice to see you." And I straight away, I grabbed it and I looked at it. I had to tilt it and go, "Oh my, look at this!" And he just,
He's a giant, though,
mate, giant, just a big bloke, isn't he?
He was never out of position, though, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
He's really obviously, you've seen him at full stretch a couple of times, some notorious, memorable save that he's made. Especially the one against Sheffield, but he always seemed to be
in the right place. Yeah,
you never see him sort of
he was cool,
in a good position or
reliable, mate.
Like these top worldies out because he was just always in the right place.
So hold on, you're coming up through the ranks. So
we were.
So you're doing youth team. You're getting near the first
youth
team.
Cup winners. So our age group won it. The year below us won it. We were all singing and dancing, and then obviously some of us moved on. Some of us signed pro. Some of us started training with the first team, which was obviously where my career started really for me. So it was a Carling Cup, as it tends to be nowadays.
Debut.
Yeah, my debut. It was a debut of dreams. I should have retired after the game. It was like it's unreal. Like I get shivers now thinking about it. It's mad. So it was at Highbury, obviously, which is what a place. It was against Rotherham in the League Cup. I remember we used to have like the squad used to go up on the board in the back of the change room, and you're thinking, please let me be in the squad, please let me be in the squad. I was in the squad and I thought, right, happy days. And then you're thinking, right, am I going to play? But I knew the boy that was on the bench with me, I think it was Craig Holloway, was another young lad, and I was ahead of him. So sort of like put two and two together thinking, I'm definitely going to play.
Gotta be me.
Everyone come. Like, we had, probably, because we were living in a pub, like the whole pub was coming.
Wow.
We had coaches go to the game, we had t-shirts made up, we had flags and everything. That's my mum,
Mate, that brings a lot of pressure on itself, don't it? Mate, that brings an awful lot of pressure. We were talking to Rob Elliott, and
I quite liked it.
He was from Newcastle, like, and he was saying when he played Newcastle, Charlton, because he's from Charlton, and his dad was a massive Charlton fan. Went with all the fans, and he said the pressure was like, it was a problem, like.
Yeah, but I loved it though.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Seeing like mates in the stand and that, it was quality. And then, so I was playing really well. So I was given these gloves from Adidas. They were like roll fingers, and this is me being inexperienced. I thought I'm gonna save these for my debut. Save them for my debut. Brand new gloves, just out of the packet. Didn't wear them to warm up, but I saved them for the game.
No, just fresh. Nah, you can't do that, Stackie.
Obviously, yeah. No, I didn't realise at the time. Here's me. I want my debut to be perfect. I want to look the part. Do you know what I mean? I want these new fresh gloves on. I don't want to get them dirty. Well, it started raining, didn't it? Just before we went out.
Like a bar of soap.
I swear to you now. So I think I might have got like 5 half volleys just before we kicked off, just to test his. First one went through my gloves. I'm going, oh my God.
You didn't even do the warm up in them?
No.
Stackie!
No, I know. I've saved them for the game, my big debut. So someone's hit a half volley at me. It was just a dolly. Let's go straight, man. I'm going, oh my God, what's happening there? Like, we're just about to kick off. Like, had another one. I'm like, oh my God, the ball was like that.
You're panicking here.
I'm having a major panic up. My other gloves are in the changing room. It looks unprofessional if someone has to go in and get them and bring
especially
them out.
A debut as well.
The game,
it looks like a mess. Like, he's in his head. He's panicking.
Oh, don't. I was a bag of nerves, and the rain was coming down. And I remember someone's hit one from about 30 yards. And I'm thinking, the things that went through my mind as it's left his foot, by the time it's got to me, I've pictured it going through my legs, over my head, through my hands. I'm thinking like, oh, and he's hit it. And I've just gone, pop. I've just caught it clean.
Stuck.
And I went, I'm all right now, I'm sweet. And I actually went on to have a really good game. And we were winning 1-0 up until sort of like the dying minutes. And Darren Byfield scored. And I was gutted because I was probably kind of almost like man of the match.
Yeah, nice.
I thought, what debut? And then you think, the dream's over. Man of the match, 1-0, clean sheet, into the next round. They scored, I was gutted. And then game went on, 1-1 extra time, first half, second half, thinking, hold on. Dream's back on.
Panos.
I'm thinking Panos.
Yes.
Here we go. So it's gone to pens, and I don't like telling you the score because it was like 9-8 in the end.
Yeah.
We had I think we lost a man to injury, and I put it this way: I think I've saved the second or the third. I've tipped one onto the post, and it's gone back round. It's round to me. And I'm thinking, I've just seen someone go out on the halfway line. I'm thinking, no, I've got to take one, and I was like that. I can do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was confident anyway because I was to play up pitch, and I was just thought, right, this is my stage. You know what I mean? Save 2 pens. Now I've got to score to top it off.
Is it to win? Score to win?
No, scores could stay in it.
Yeah, okay.
So I've scored, and then they missed, and then Sylvan Wiltord scored.
Yeah.
And I was expecting everyone to run to Sylvan, but Sylvan Wiltord's come and picked me up.
Nah, and then everyone's on you.
And everyone's jumped on me. And I've got the picture. I haven't got many pictures of me playing football, to be fair, in my house. I think that's probably the only one, to be fair. And it's that picture. It's Sylvan Wiltord picking me up. And there's a fan run on the pitch as well. He's in the background, like almost on the pitch, this geezer, with all the lads. And I just thought, like, you just couldn't write that.
Yeah.
If you were going to do a film and that was the story, you'd be saying it was too corny, wouldn't you? You'd be saying, no, that never happens.
If you can bottle that feeling of like that's few like moments, you know what I mean? It might only be like 30 seconds, 40 seconds or whatever. Like if you could bottle that and feel it again, mate, it gives you goosebumps, doesn't it?
I don't think I've had some highs, but I don't think I've never had that. Like I've never got that one. It's
the first one though,
because it's the first one. Maybe maybe it was because it was the first one, but it was just it was incredible. And I played in all the other. I played in the rest of the. In all the other games and all the other rounds, and we lost to Borough. We lost to Borough in the semis, and to be fair to the gaffer, I thought that if we qualified, I thought that Jens might play in the final.
But you stuck with you?
No, because we got knocked out in the semis. But the gaffer pulled me before the second leg and said, "Look, if we go through, you'll play in the final."
Oh, decent.
And I think that was a psychological one from him as well. Hopefully, it was true. But basically, to say, look, don't think about. If we got through, I might not play in the final.
It's your last chance. You've got another one.
He's put my mind at rest. He went, if we get through, you're playing the final.
But honestly, right, people, this is where like people's skills as a manager for me are like so important, right? If I basically just want my manager before the game starts, right? I don't want him to say anything else to me about the game because I know how to play football. You know how to play football. Every footballer does. Well, goalkeeper does anyway. I just wanted to put his arm around me and go, just save us today, yeah. Just save us, would you? Yeah. You're the man you are. Just save us today, right? And if a manager says that to me, I go, yeah, I'll do that for you. That's I'd love that.
But do you know what? Working, obviously, having the opportunity to work with you, I'm not gonna tell him how to start playing in goal. Or what to do you know? I'd
listen to him though. I'd listen to him. Do you know why? Because I've got to say, as a goalie coach, right? So you did it. You worked with the first team. It was probably 18 months ago, wasn't it? Yeah. When it was the Premier League season where we got relegated towards the end of the season after COVID had hit, and Stackie took us with Hayden Mullins, and do you know what? They were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant, right? But Stackie was taking the goalkeepers, and I would listen to every single word Stackie said about anything that I've done in the game. Should you have done this? Should you have done that? Could you have come for this? Could you have come for that? You could have kicked it here, could have clipped it there. I will listen to every word because he knows the game like the back of his hands. You do, Stackie, mate. I'm not again.
Yeah, no, I'd like to
honestly, mate, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but in terms
of
goalkeeper coaching, you know the game like the back of your hand, and I would happily listen to everything you say because you would want me, like if the roles were reversed and I said it to you, you would go, yeah, cool. You've got to be honest with yourself as a goalie, haven't you?
But I think you have to have that relationship where you can be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Fozzie got to do better there. Fozzie can start maybe slightly higher. Fozzie, what do you think about that? Maybe you could change this. Maybe you could do that. Listen, ultimately, for me, the biggest one thing I learned was you basically facilitating a session for him. Yes, there's Gomez, there's Pontus, and there's Dan, but ultimately, he's going to be playing on the weekend. So it's, for me, and you have to find a balance because you need to make sure the others are happy, because it's tough to keep other goalies happy. It's tough, especially when they expect to play. So it was finding that balance with the other goalies that I think we got right.
Yeah.
But for me, it was getting him in the best possible frame of mind. People used to take the piss. They say, you just play tennis all the time. I say, yeah, on a Friday I do, because it makes him happy. Yeah. And if he's got a smile on his face and he's happy, I know a happy goalie tends to be a good one.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm not going to coach you on a Friday, and I'm not going to put something on. Listen, we work, but just for that 15, 20 minutes, I think it's important for him to get in, to be in a good place.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same after training. We'd always make sure, I'd want to make sure he was right psychologically, because I think that's massive.
Yeah, it's true, mate. It's belting, honestly. It is.
We used to have some proper battles, didn't we?
It was world class, mate. Yeah. Do you know what, right? We used to play head tennis.
You just couldn't put Pontus and Dan on the same
team. They were brutal, mate. Pontus was absolutely awful, right? So we would team up, so it would be doubles. It would be head tennis doubles, right? And Stackie, right? He's a player, yeah, he is. He's a lovely player. He's got a lovely touch, all this kind of stuff. But the problem with Stackie, right, yeah, is he gets a little bit excited, okay? so if we're winning or he's playing well and he's played a few nice shots or something like that, right, I'll lay him a ball and I'll be going, yeah, back to me. He'll be trying an overhead kick from the edge of the corner of the court. He's got absolutely zero chance of pulling it off, and he'll be pulling it up going, oh, it was close though, and I'm going, it ain't close, you dickhead, which would then let the other team get back into the game. They'd start scoring a few points. The amount of games that we would barely just win or just lose because dickhead here was getting too excited about it. My God.
I was watching, I think, some Watford footage from a couple of years ago, and it was you two versus Dan and Gomi. And it was like, it's head tennis.
It gets heavy, it gets serious, doesn't it?
Good fun to watch.
But I get the young ones out early now. I say, look, you know where the head tennis net is. You don't need me to come out and stand there and watch you do it. Get out 20 minutes early.
Practice on it.
And just go and play.
Mate, it improves your touch. It improves your touch like you wouldn't believe.
It's a chance to build a bit of camaraderie and a bit of competition.
It's the best warm-up as well.
And it's going to help you out.
It's the best warm-up you can do. We, like they say, it used to get a bit heated with us lot, so we would take it proper serious.
We're winners, isn't we?
Yeah, we're winners, mate. That's what we are. So we'd take it serious, right? And by the end of it, it might only be 20 minutes. You are blowing out your arsehole. You're sweating your tits off, right? It is incredible. You're good to go for the session. It's really, really good.
So when, obviously, you graduate into the Arsenal first team, signing pro, and obviously you were part of the Invincible squad.
Yeah.
Who was the Invincible goalie? Lehmann?
Jens Lehmann.
Talk to me about Jens Lehmann.
Wow, what a man. So he was a strong character. Yeah, strong character, big personality in the change room.
By looking at him.
Serious guy, but he was a good man. He had a good eye, had a good sense of humour, but he was just a serious trainer. It was mad because that Invincible season, we never had a goalie coach on a match day. So the sub goalie.
I remember this. Yeah, the sub goalie would warm up the first.
Sub goalie would
warm
travel.
up Jens.
I think it all started when Bob Wilson was doing work like commentary work or TV work on a Saturday, so he could never make the games.
No, and that was fine.
So what used to happen is the number 2 goalie used to take the warm up, and I remember doing Jens's warm up. Oh my God, I think I shanked one like out of about 40.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me as if to say, like, kick it straight. And I was like that. Oh my God.
Okay.
Like what are you being so serious for? Like, relax. And it was just like, he kept you on edge. He kept you on your toes. And I remember we used to do these races on a Friday. And again, he's German, isn't he? He wants to win at everything.
Serious.
But he was getting on. It must have been about 37 or 38. I was this young whippersnapper. I was like 23, 24. And we used to do these races. So like Jerry Patton, our goalie coach, used to say like there would be a word, and on that word you'd have to go. And so it was like whatever. And we'd go. And then I was battering him, I was hammering him. And all the first team was like Thierry, Patrick, they were all coming out. And I thought, right, I'm gonna mug him here. So
when you say you're gonna batter him, you mean you're giving it him?
No. So we're racing. As we're racing, I've turned around and started running backwards, laughing at him. I'm smiling at him. So I've gone past the finish line, but he's speeding up. He's coming for me. He wants me dead. All the first team boys are laughing because Jens, who no one takes the piss out of, is just getting taken the piss out of. And I thought, oh my God, he's actually trying to catch me. So I had to turn around. I was just like that. I just sprinted off. I thought, I cannot let this beast get his hands on me. And then he calmed down, and then we was all right. He said, don't you ever do that again to me. I went, sorry, big fella, sorry. But when I say training wise, animal.
Really?
Animal. What a trainer. Like mentality. Like just doesn't want to see the ball in a goal. Doesn't want to drop. He was another one, hands like that. But yeah, he's another just winner. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah,
I learned a hell of a lot from him.
This is what I'm saying about when the younger ones come over. You've got to put on a session. You've got to give it a go, because that young one picks up so much from that. It's like that's the level. That's what they've got to aim at. If they want to be a footballer, a Premier League footballer, League One, League Two, whatever it is, that's what you got to get to. I used to love Jens Lehmann so much, right? That first of all, the reason why I used to love him most was because, like all the way through in the Premier League and stuff, there were loads of teams with big throws and big corners and stuff like that. The throws, right? He's the only goalie I've ever seen when it was a throw in, and then they launch it into the box. He would stand in the corner of his 6-yard box, right? He would stand in the corner of his 6-yard box and go on then, do it. Me, to do that, to have the balls to be able to do that, I couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. It's frightening, isn't it? That is frightening.
That was him though. That summed him up. And it's brilliant though. So for that Invincible season, he never missed a minute.
Yeah.
He never missed a minute. And you're thinking, come on, just give me. Halfway through the season, I'm like, come on, I'd love a game. As it gets to like 2 to go and you ain't lost a game, I'm thinking, please don't come off. Please don't get injured. Because if you come off now and I have to come on and ruin this whole record, I'll never be forgiven.
Do you reckon that'll ever happen again? Sorry.
No.
Nah, not Invincible. No.
I can't see it. Well, we done it, didn't we? We beat Liverpool 3-0 at Vic Road, didn't we? And that sort of, because they were motoring at the time. So it was funny. Capoue said, "Look, you're still the only Invincible."
Yeah, it's
after
true.
The game, it was lovely. It was nice, but So we had what was it? What was I going back to? It was me and Jens. What was I saying? I've lost myself.
I ain't got a clue. What were we saying about that Invincible season?
Hold on. Going back to.
Hold on, edit that, Frankers.
So going back to the Invincible season. So obviously it was just me and Jens. I wanted him to get injured at the start.
So you were sub goalie for the whole of the Invincibles?
Yeah, it must have been for about 30 odd games.
Yeah.
Went to the San Siro, beat Milan. There was loads of unbelievable memories. But you look at clubs now, they carry like 3 goalies on a match day.
Yeah.
And a goalie coach. And it was me and him. And that was, for a sub goalie, I felt a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because I needed to make sure that Jens Lehmann going into games was ready.
Not just technically and from a footballing point of view, like everything.
Comfy,
mate. Do you need anything? Do you want me to get you something? Do you want a cup of coffee? Like, boom. Do you know what I mean?
But people used to say, like, listen, I was never going to play in front of Jens.
Yeah.
On ability, nowhere near it, or experience. I knew what my role was.
Yeah.
I knew I was a number 2 to arguably one of the best goalies in the world at the time.
At that time, for sure.
At the time,
for sure.
Playing for Germany's number. I knew my role in that team.
Yeah.
And my role was to train hard, if called upon, be reliable.
Yeah.
And I thought I can go and do that. But there was a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
For a
it would be interesting. Actually, it wouldn't be interesting because I know we'd say the same thing. But if you were to speak to Jens Lehmann and say that Invincible season, talk to me about your understudy. Talk to me about Graham Stack.
Well, he's been asked, hasn't he?
He's what?
He's been asked. So,
has he? Yeah.
There was a documentary on goalkeepers. I think it was on by 442.
Oh, really? Yeah. Go on then.
Magazine. Yeah. And they said to Jens, you're known to be crazy, but who's the craziest person you've ever played with? He went, this crazy Irish goalkeeper. He said it was me, and I was like, what? You got some cheek? Because he's a madman. But for him to say, I'm the craziest, I'm thinking, blimey, I must be going some.
Yeah. Nah, it is though, mate. Honestly, it's so important. Like I say, West Brom for so many years having such a like Boaz my number 2. Watford, Gomez as my number 2.
Yeah,
it's like to know that you've got a number 2 goalie who's in your corner, who's like fighting for you, wants you to make saves. Like if you make a save, you're the one jumping off the bench going, "What a save! You're the man." The first person to greet you in the change rooms afterwards, going, "You're the man you were today." Oh, what a guy!
Ledge.
That is like as a first choice goalie. Honestly, it's worth its weight in gold.
And let me tell you now. Listen, see managers, they love a number 2 who's not going to knock on the door every Sunday, every Monday morning. Gaffer, we've got beat. Do I get a chance? Gaffer, we've lost 200 pounds. Gaffer, he had one. When am I going to play? Managers actually sometimes want that number 2. You see them now. There's training goalies, isn't there? So clubs actually train, like they sign goalies just to be a training goalie, just for numbers, which I don't really agree with to an extent. I'd rather see a younger lad get an opportunity. I understand why they do it, because if called upon, they can go and play. And Mick McCarthy, I was at Wolves. I'd been on there on loan initially. I'd come back to Reading, and Mick asked me to go back up the following season. But he went, Stackie.
You got on well with Mick McCarthy, didn't you?
I got on brilliant with him. Yeah, I loved him.
Lovely bloke, yeah.
Loved him, top man. He went, Stackie, he said, I want you to come back up here. Wayne NSE was playing. Wayne NSE was flying.
Yeah.
Top goalie.
Yeah, God, he is a top goalie, yeah.
He went, I want it to come back up. I went, oh, lovely. I said, quality. He went to Stackie. He said, you're not going to play. And I went, all right. I said, why is that? He went, because I think you're the best number 2 out there.
Yeah.
Right? And I went, what do you mean by that? He went, well, look, he said, I know I can rely on you if I need you to play. He went, but I need you to come up here when people ain't doing it properly. I want you to let them have it.
Get them after them, yeah.
He said, when people are doing things like not so well and they need a little pick up, I want you to help them out.
Yeah.
I want you to drive players, drive individuals, drive training, be a character, be you around a training ground. He said, he said, I know it's not what you want to hear, and I know you want to play. He went, but I really want you up here because I think you're going to help us massively.
Mate, that makes you feel a million.
And I thought, do you know what? I want to play. Of course, I want to play, but I respected Mick. I loved it at Wolves, unbelievable group, and I thought, do you know what? It was. I think it was near our deadline day. I didn't have any other options, and I didn't want to sit on the bench at Reading. So I took it and I went up there, and you know what? It was worth it. I loved it. But you can be a good number 2.
Mate,
I've signed for a few clubs. Listen, you know what it's like. Sometimes if you find yourself behind a good number 1,
yeah.
I could have played loads of games. I reckon I probably could have played because I've always been pretty fit.
Yeah.
I could have probably played over 500 games.
You could have done because I've seen him in training still, mate. He's a cat, honestly.
You are.
He's a cat.
Yeah,
he's joined him in training a few times. He's a proper goalie. He's a proper
I still
goalie.
have a go, and you often think, was it too early or was it not? But it's neither here or there. I'm happy with what I'm doing now. But you can obviously you go on loan all the time, and sometimes you find yourself behind a good number 1. Marcus Hanneman. The season we won the championship, we lost 2 games. Yeah. Like, I can't get in a team.
That was that mad season where he didn't, was it shave his beard or shave his something?
Yeah,
he didn't shave some facial hair
yeah.
until he let a goal in or until they lost or something, and he went on like
a
stupid run. He went on a stupid run like 20 games or something.
So as a goalie, like, you're a number 2, but what can you do? You're doing everything you can to get in the team, but you're not. It's not going to change it.
Yeah.
So you've just got to be patient, but that's probably why I didn't play as many games.
But you're not. You're a team player though. The difference is because you're a team player, and you can either be a dickhead in that situation and be like one of those negative ones who might go around the other lads and go, I should be playing, or this is crap, I hate this is miserable. Or you can be the guy that you are, or like I would be, and it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but I'll support the shit out of him. I will. I'll get behind him. I'll make sure he's ready for the game, and that's what you have to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I've done that once. In my career. And I've made amends for it. I was at Plymouth and I signed there under Paul Sturrock. I had 3 children. I had 1 on the way. Made the decision to move down with my family. Paul Sturrock had come out in the media and said, like, he's been there, done it. He's got a T-shirt. He's now hungry to play. All of it was very true. Moved my whole family down to Plymouth. I wanted it to be successful. I wanted to start a life down there, basically. Played for the first month. I got the club's player of the month. And then we got beat and he changed it, and then I lost my temper.
What, so you lost 1 game
and then
he changed?
We lost at home to Norwich. I'll never forget. We lost at home to Norwich. No, we hadn't won a game. We were bottom of the league, but I'd got player of the month.
Yeah.
We lost away at Burnley. We lost to Norwich. We lost to Swansea. I think we got beat by Luton in the cup. So, that first month you played the League Cup and stuff like that. And I remember we were playing Watford, and I wanted all my family to come. And then I found out we'd done a bit of team shape on the down. He'd left me out. And I thought, I'm not going to go and pull him down the game because that's unprofessional, but I'm going to wait. And he didn't give me a valid reason. I think it was because we hadn't won a game, and we had McDonald's after the game. We had McDonald's in the changing room. The club had supplied. Yet down the corridor, we had all the people that pay for tables are corporates. They're having steak, chicken, rice, pasta, whatever you like. And I'm thinking, we're playing Watford on Tuesday. We've got McDonald's in the changing room. Our captain's been sent off after 20 minutes. I think something happened during the week in training. We got locked out of our training ground, or we didn't bring balls, or they were saying, and it was just eating away at me because I'd come from such a professional clubs, and I'm not saying Plymouth was. It's not an unprofessional club, but things were being done unprofessionally at the time. And I thought, well, look, if anyone can say anything, it can be me because I'm flying and I'm playing well. So even though everyone was saying it, I thought, I'm going to say something because something's got to change. We're bottom of the league.
Yeah.
We're having McDonald's. We're playing Watford.
Yeah, there's a difference between everyone saying it and then actually somebody going above and going, hang on, listen, and going to the management, going to the thing and saying,
I've done it in the changing room after the game. I think I've just wiped out. I think there was big Max quarter-pounders hanging off the ceiling. I think they were just went, I've just picked up this massage table. They just went everywhere. And I dug one or two out. I dug a few players out, to be fair, and just said, look, it's not acceptable. And I think I was quoted in the paper to say we were a pub team, but my point was we were playing and we were preparing like a pub team. But I was in that pub team, which is what people forget. I was playing in that team, and I was embarrassed because we weren't winning games. So I wanted to change something because something fundamentally was wrong. So I had my say after that game, and then I think it was because maybe Paul Sturrock had felt that that was his moment, his time to dig players out. And I took it upon myself to do it myself. And maybe, but I felt as though I was that was the right timing because it was a mess.
Do you know what that could be though? That can be an ego of the manager getting in the way though. So do you know what I mean? Like as a manager, you got to be seen as the guy that's steering the ship. You're the one that makes the decisions.
You're in charge, aren't you?
Yeah, you're in charge.
The Mackies is happening on his watch.
And then if he can see that his team's going to thing, but he ain't got the balls to do anything, and then all of a sudden the player does it, it's almost like an easy out for him to go, hang on a minute, I'm the one that says this, and then drops you, and he looks like he's the strong one.
Yeah, well, that's what they did, to be fair. Well, that's what the gaffer did. The gaffer dropped me, I think. And to be fair, we went on a mad run. It was horrible. It was horrible.
He knows what he's doing, this Paul Sturrock.
Yeah,
this guy's incredible.
Because, listen, there was a lot of boys in the change room I loved, and I still speak to now. We had like Yannick Balassi there, Jason Punchin, Paul Gallagher there. We had Craig Noon. We had a good group.
Yannick Balassi was at Plymouth?
Yeah, Yannick was with me. Yeah,
what the heck?
Yeah, and Punch. So we had a good group.
Mate, at one point, how good was Yannick Balassi?
I was playing with Craig Cathcart.
At Plymouth? This was the time when Craig was there.
Craig would probably tell you.
Because
I think Craig made his debut. I think Craig might have made his debut against Watford, funny enough. I can't remember. But he used to sit next to me. And to be fair, I caused chaos there.
Really?
Yeah. For about a month, I was really disruptive.
Who was the goalie? Who was the goalie that came in?
Roman Lariou.
Yeah, I remember,
Loved him. Yeah. What a great guy. But I think because I was bitter, because we went on a good run and I weren't playing and I've moved down to Plymouth with my family. This is not what I wanted, and I'm almost being sort of punished for being outspoken and trying to change things for the better. If it was through performances, I can accept that. But because it wasn't for that, I just felt like...
Is that something you look back on now with the way that you've reacted? Is it something you look back on and think, I could have dealt with that better?
Yeah, definitely. But me, if it happened again next week, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah, definitely. But no.
But what I did do when we played Southend, and I was at Barnet, we played Southend, and Paul Sturrock was a gaffer, and I made a point again to see him because I think they had a cup game the following week or during that week, and I said, "Is Paul Sturrock about?" And they said, "Yeah, he's downstairs. He's down the corridor, or he's in his office." I knocked on the door. I said, "Paul," I said, "I want to apologise for the way I behaved when I was with you at Plymouth. It was like, looking back, it was unacceptable. I just wanted to come in and give him my hand."
Nice.
And he shook my hand. I said, "Look, best of luck in the cup." And he was good as gold. And I felt better about that because I did react badly and I did behave poorly. But that was just, listen, you do things, you say things when you're young. Obviously, if we knew.
Do you know what I love about you, mate? Is you wear your heart on your sleeve. And do you know what? The world needs more of these sort of people. They do. It does, mate. You need, especially in sports teams and stuff like that. You got to have somebody sometimes that's happy to put their head above like the parapet and go, I ain't having that. That's not on. But we can't be doing this.
It's also, you need the same amount of bollocks to then say, do you know what?
What I couldn't handle.
Exactly.
What I couldn't handle was lads going,
exactly.
That session was shit. Or like, why are we travelling on a date? I said, tell him.
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
Yeah.
If I think it, I'll say, Gaffer, what was that? Like, Gaffer, can we do this? Or Gaffer, the boys ain't happy with that. I'd happily do that. Maybe it's because of type of, listen, some players haven't got the character or the personality to be able to go and do that. But I think, as Fozzie said, I think they're the ones that I think in a group the managers want. They want people like that. They want people that have got an opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So can we just quickly rewind to Arsenal?
Yeah.
So we were talking about the players that we've got there. We're talking the best of the best here. We're Henri, Bergkamp, Vieira, Gilberto, Campbell, Cole, Toure, Perez, Ljungberg.
Can you answer this question?
Reyes.
Who was the best out of all them lot? Who, in your opinion, from seeing them up close, facing the shots, letting the goals in, making some worldy saves? You did. Who out of them lot would you say was the best?
Yeah,
of the
I've
best?
always said it, and I'll continue. Dennis Bergkamp was
nice.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah,
but
nice.
I think Dennis was. Listen, Thierry Henry was just like, he was.
You're talking about it's like Pepsi and Coke. Like we're talking about the top of the top here, yeah? The top of the top.
But Dennis would train like it was a cup final every day.
Really?
Sometimes Thierry would have his boots undone. I see young players now. They like some of them have. I've seen trialists that have come to Watford and they train with because like their socks now, so their laces undone. I say, son, what are you doing? He said, what? I said, do your laces up.
Yeah.
I said, you're on trial. Like, look professional. Like, you look rag-ass. Like, what you doing? Like, just at least set your stall out and look professional. And the only player that I ever remember, like, the first one was Thierry Henry. He used to have these mercurials on.
Yeah, I remember.
And he had his boots loose. But he used to just, like, roll around the training, like, in training.
Just mate. He didn't even put his foot down. He would just glide, wouldn't he?
He didn't run.
He was never flat out. Because what he'd do, he had this capability of just going, right, Saturday, it's game day, I'm ready. Because you didn't need to sit during the week because you knew you was going to get it. But I felt like Dennis needed to train like that every day to keep him, because that was what he needed. He needed to train properly every day to know that he was ready for Saturday.
Do you think that was part of his, because he was in that famous Ajax academy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Do you think surely that's part of it?
I would definitely say so. That would definitely be something from his football upbringing, certainly at a club like Ajax.
Was do you remember the thing about Bergkamp never wanted to fly? Is that a thing? Yeah. Was that true? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he drove to Moscow. I'm sure he drove to Moscow because I think we played Spartak or Lokomotiv Moscow in the Champions League, and I think Dennis drove. I think he set off on like
a couple of days before.
Sunday. We were playing them on like Wednesday or
madness.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
That's a madness,
mate. This is. I know, like, say you're not playing many games and stuff, but like as far as the grounding goes, like experience.
I look back now. And I just think, like, I hate saying I took it for granted because I don't think I did. But I used to sit next to Sol Campbell and Canoe. Thierry used to bring PlayStation games in 1 minute. Someone else would just be free giveaways, and he'd have his World Cup medal, and he'd have this, and I'm going like, wow, this is quality. Like, I'm just
madness.
Surrounded by
quality.
They were the best.
Yeah,
and I'm sitting with them, and I'm still me. I'm not trying to be a superstar. I'm still me, and I'm having a laugh, and I'm up to no good, and I think they enjoyed that. I think they liked that because I didn't take myself too seriously. But yeah, I just remember going to games thinking, I used to look at these lads thinking, we got game in 10 minutes. They're all messing about because they know what they're doing. We used to play 2-touch in the showers at Highbury. They were tight. Baths were in there, massage beds were in there. It was tight. We used to have like a little game of 2-touch in the showers, but they were also laid back. But then the subs used to go down the tunnel to get out before the lads. You'd walk down the tunnel and they were just like that. I was like, oh my God. He was messing about 10 minutes ago, and now he looks like he's ready to kill someone. Like,
mate,
they were just
incredible.
The mindset was just.
Mate, it's giving me goosebumps.
I used to watch them, and I used to think, "There's no way these lot can't lose."
Yeah,
like they would find a way of winning. We'd go behind, and I'd be going, "We're winning 3 or 4," and it was lovely. Ray Partley used to, because obviously the bonuses were good.
Yeah,
and my contract wasn't great. My contract was a good contract. I was on good money.
Goalie though,
but I wasn't on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there was this bonus scheme I didn't really know about. I was being promoted to the first team. I had no idea. So Ray went, fucking hell, Stackie. He went, you're creaming it with the bonuses. I went, what do you mean bonuses? He said, every game we win, I think it was like $3,000. I think it was like $3,000 a win. Might be $3,000 a win or $3,000 a point. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, I'm going, what? Bearing in mind
I'm getting that. I'm going to get
this
that.
This is at the end of the season, pro rata.
So you didn't know?
And I didn't know. And I'm thinking, knowing Ray Pardo, I'm thinking, he's fucking winding. He's winding me up.
He's having me on, yeah.
I went to someone. I think it might have been Martin Carroll because I used to room with Martin. I said, Martin, what about bonuses? Is that true? I said, do I get any of that? He went, yeah. He went, well, make sure you get it. You're part of the team and all that. I'm going, my head spinning. I'm going, oh my God, what can I buy with that? That's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then we went unbeaten. So obviously I got weighed in with the bonuses. And it was mad. And Ray Parley used to say to me, you've gone from smoking old Holborn to big Cubans. So I was like, with the reserves and now with the first team.
So what's the Romford Pele like?
He's a ledge. Yeah, what a character. He was probably that season, it goes far to say, probably one of our most important players.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really was.
That, didn't you?
He really was. But what he done with the foreign boys that come over, he was just like the gel that put everything together.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, like they could see how committed he was to the FA Cup, how good he was with the young players, how hard he worked. They also saw how much he drank and
But he got there on a Saturday and turned it on.
Listen, he got there and he left no stone unturned. When he trained, he was at it. He had standards. He was brilliant, Ray. And all the foreign boys loved him. So even now, like if they bumped into Ray, he's just an infectious character, Ray. Do you know what I mean?
Man, I listen to him on TalkSport still, like every morning when he's on TalkSport. You hang on every word he's saying because you know he's like he's one of those, like, you know that he just had a good time while doing it, but when it needed to be done, he did it properly. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And I think they're the ones that you love more than anything, don't you?
And what about Dennis Bergkamp? He liked a game of golf, didn't he?
Oh, Dennis, yeah. So when we were flying, there's a couple of golf stories. So when we were flying, we used to get invited like for golf quite a lot, the boys and that. And Dennis used to play. Ashley tried to play. Martin played. Ray played. So Ian Poulter said to us,
he's a big Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Said to Ray Parler, sorry, they're good friends. He went, come down to Woburn, have a game down here. We're flying. I thought, yeah, why not? We'll go down to Woburn for the day. So I've gone down there with Coley. Poulter went, I'll tell you what we'll do. He said, I'll play the first hole with you. Bearing in mind, I'm not the greatest, right? I can play, but I'm not the greatest. Ian Poulter is at X-Drive. I kid you not, I thought it was like a rocket, like going into space. It just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, that's going to come down in a minute. It kept going and going. I'm going, oh my God. I thought I really don't want him to see me swing my club. So I think I've got down there just about. We were having a few beers on the way round, me and Coley. Me being, I'm getting bored. So I'm in and out the rough. I'm trying to jump over bunkers, like in this buggy. It's going up and down, up and down. I'm driving up to a lap. I'm trying to scare Coley, so I'm going flat out to this.
And skidding into him.
So no, he's in the buggy with me. So
this is you and Ashley go, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going flat out to this. It's just short of the green. Couldn't say what hole it was. But what I'm thinking in my head, I want to scare him. So I'm going to drive as fast as I can towards it. I was going to stick the brakes on. This is wrong. I know, I'm at Woburn and I'm like doing wheel spins on the fairway. And I'm thinking, I'm going to scare him. So I've gone flat out in this golf buggy. He's going, stop. So I'm thinking, I'm going to stop, wheel spin it, slide it, just leave it like 3 inches short of this pond. So I'm doing it. Next minute, Coley's like, oh my God, Coley's like jumped out the moving buggy. I've tried to brake it. I broke to like the back end of the buggy has rolled down. I'm in the buggy and the buggy's in the pond at Woburn. All our clubs are in the pond. Like I'm like that. I'm covered up to here in water. Coley's standing at the edge of the green going like, what are we gonna do? So we've ended up, I think, with someone that was behind us or someone else that was playing was like, they couldn't believe what we had done. I took full responsibility for it. I said it was like my fault. But I think like obviously Ian Poulter being an Arsenal fan, he didn't know exactly what would happen. I just said I've mistimed it. I've gone too close to the pond and we've actually just gone in a drink. But yeah, that was one. And then the other time we played, it was at the Grove, and before the Grove was even, obviously all the boys stayed in there. So this was years ago. So it was taken over. I think it was Japanese people that actually bought the Grove out. And I used to sell cars when I was at Arsenal for this.
What?
Yeah. So there was a company called A1 Limousines, A1 Prestige, and so the deal was that they would let me drive all their motors.
Yeah.
But if I sold any, to basically drive all these motors into Arsenal.
To show them off a bit.
And then they'd buy them. So I was driving Hummers, I had like an
Do you remember Hummers back in the day? Yeah. Who was it that had a Hummer? Joe Cole, was it?
I can't remember.
Somebody had a Hummer. I'm sure it was Joe Cole.
Leroy Lita had a Hummer when I was at Reading.
Oh my God.
So I was driving all these motors in, because I weren't paying for them. So I thought, why would I not do that?
Yeah, damn right.
I was driving all these motors in. There was like SL500s and like a lot. Jumping a day, I bought an Escalade. And obviously I was getting a drink on all the cars that I was selling. So these A1 Prestige, they were trying to get the contract at the Grove for all their corporate people. So anyone that was staying at the Grove, they would do their limo service, private hire from the airports to take them to the Grove. So because I knew Neil and Eddie, they were big Arsenal fans, and I used to give them tickets and all that to the games. And he said, listen, we think we might be getting this contract at the Grove. He went, but listen, what we'll do, we'll invite you and the boys down for a game, so it looks like we've got a bit of clout.
Yeah, nice, yeah. So they know all the Arsenal lads. They're a proper outfit. So
Neil and Eddie are thinking, right, we'll get Dennis Bergkamp down there, we'll play golf, and like it looks like we know everyone, like a bit of networking sort of thing. So he said, what we'll do, he said, we'll send you a car to the training ground and pick you all up. So I went, all right, lovely. This limo's turned up, this stretch limo, like the old Cadillacs.
What, for golf clubs and everything?
No, to pick us up from the training ground to take us golf. Dennis Bergkamp went, who's this? I went, that's ours, we're going golf in it. He went, I'm not getting in that to go golf. We had, the old school limos, like the stretch limos, the Cadillacs. It was one of them. It weren't even like an all singing, all dancing, like long, like Merc or like the Vito bus they got now. It was like this. It was like this long limo. Dennis Bergkamp said, I'm not getting in that to go golf. I think me and Coley jumped in it and got the old stretch limo down to golf. But yeah, no, that was funny when I see Dennis's face. When I thought they were sending us a car, I thought they'd send us something proper. I didn't think they'd be sending us like an old banged out limo.
This is like the times when like stuff like this could go on, and there were no camera phones
that long ago though.
Yeah,
it's not that long ago.
It really isn't, is it?
So when you talk about like being in the academy, we were having a chat the other day, weren't we? And you were saying about this could be a 5-hour podcast. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
One thing that I kind of thought is like, this isn't that long ago, and you're in the academy, and you were selling gear out the back. Not gear. You were selling stuff out.
Selling stuff. The police around the
What are you selling out the back of your car?
Yeah. I used to sell everything.
Like what? Like how?
Gucci. We used to have this fella that used to come in our pub. Listen, in a pub, you can get your hands on anything. So it was, this fella, if I said to this fella, there's this pair of jeans in Levi's, 501s, they're black, 34, 32. Can you go and get them?
Exact size.
An hour later, he'd have your jeans. And you're going, right, how much do you want? He'd go, just give us a score. I'd be like, but there's 70 quid. He went, yeah, just give us a score. I'd be like, that's unbelievable. So this geezer could get anything. So I literally used to order 30 pairs of Gucci at a time, Gucci loafers. So there was black ones, brown ones, gold buckle, silver buckle, suede ones. Then I got wallets, then I got belts, then I was getting handbags.
Were they legit or were they?
They were snide.
Yeah, they're double snide.
But I told everyone I just said they'd been stolen. And I used to turn up at the training ground. I used to put them all in my boot. I literally remember driving on the motorway. I couldn't see out the back window because I had loads of Gucci loafers. And I turned up in the car park, and there was about 20, 30 people around my car.
All the boys, basically. All the lads, everything.
Academy. I'm like, I'm trying to just nick a few quid on the side. Next minute, all the first team boys can see there's a bit of commotion over near the car park. There's shoe boxes on the floor. There's bin line like blowing around. They've all come over. Well, anyway, everyone. I've done all my shoes. I've done about 30 pairs of loafers, bags, wallets. I've done everything. And Liam Brady just, as you look through this blind that oversaw the car park, and he's gone, he can't believe what he said. He's thinking, what is going on at Stackie's motor? And I just
was it one of these Hummers or something?
No, this was a little Saxo
in the academy.
I had a Citroen Saxo, yeah. And
I bet it was like a VTR though, or VTS,
yeah, it was a VTR, a little blue one.
Yeah.
And 2 years free insurance. Remember them days? Oh
yeah,
my God.
Who said about that the other day?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That's what it was. I remember back in the day, I couldn't afford a Saxo VTR. They were too, like, they were just a bit too much.
Yeah, I was to tell you, I managed to get this Citroen Saxo, but Liam Brady went, Stackie. He went, this is the Arsenal. He went, this is not a fucking market. He went, can you please shut your boot and get everyone inside the building?
This is the Arsenal.
Yeah, he said, this is the Arsenal. But yeah, that car, so obviously we were living in a pub at the time. I needed a car to get to and from training. And my dad was like, well, listen, we didn't get your sister's one, so we can't just give you a car. Yeah. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to pay the car back. So whatever it was every month, I would have to do shifts behind the bar.
Yeah, fair do.
So
whilst you were in the academy,
I was playing for the academy.
Wow.
I was in the academy.
And then working in the pub at night.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah, that's what I had to basically get out.
Yeah.
So on a Sunday, I would work behind the bar, but it got to the stage where my dad was taking 30 quid, like basically not giving me any cash, but I had to work rather than him employing staff. I would work, And I used to play pool and all that in the pub. And I'm thinking, right, Dad, this is what I'm going to do. Give me £20, yeah? Give me an hour. I'll give you your £30 back. Get someone to work behind the bar. Because I'd go and play pool. And I'd play pool and I'd play for whatever I had in my pocket.
So you're half decent at pool?
I'm a good pool player.
Yeah. That's nice. That was strong, that was.
So if I had 50 quid and I was 15, I'd play for 50 quid. I was only on 42 quid a week.
Wow.
I'd put my money where my mouth was. So in the end, my dad went, all right, there you go. He said, you go and play pool. He said, but I want £30 back every weekend to go towards a car. So I went, lovely. And in the end, my missus, Natalie, worked behind the bar for me, and I think my dad used to pay her while I was playing pool. So she's working, I'm paying for my car basically, but she's doing all the hours under the sun to work behind the bar. And that was my little hustle. That's how I managed to pay for my car. I would just try and graft on the pool table, or I'd watch the fruit machine. I'd wait for someone to do the bollocks on it and put loads of money in, and then I'd wait for it. I'd wait for him to run out of money. And then I'll just go and get a couple of quid out the till. Yeah. And I just go, and it goes, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
Mate, we were, when we were kids, like the same sort of age, right? We used to play fruities like you would not believe. And this was the time when
Did you ever used to look in and look at the tubes to see if they were full up?
The tubes, right? So I bought a fruit machine once, right? And I learned exactly how they work. Yeah. And inside a fruit machine, you can change the payout. You can change the payout.
There's a code, weren't there?
1 2 3 2 3 2 3 1 3.
Yeah. To dump the
JPM ones.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah.
They were the chippies, weren't they? We used to go after a night out at the chippies.
When you open them up, you can change the payout to low, medium or high, right? So you knew, like, if you're in a dodgy place, it's going to be a low payout. But there was a certain thing called backing, right? If you put the pound coin in, right, and you heard it drop down, then the tubes were full. And it's good to go. So from this moment on, once the tubes are full, it's good to pay. So at any time now, it's good to pay. So you just go and change whatever money you've got into pound coins. Boom. From that moment on,
you used to see the tubes. If you used to duck down,
you could just see them.
Keys are looking at the fruit machine. But I'd be looking to see if the tubes are full.
I used to work at a pub in Leamington, and we used to do like a split shift, and it was exactly the same thing. We'd like be busy, like lunchtime.
But you're watching, you're keeping an eye out.
Watching, and there'd always be someone just hammering it, and then it'd be changed 10 or 20 quid.
Yeah, unlucky.
And you got to remember, I'm there all night. So I ain't got to go. So sometimes my dad would shout up and say he's off it now. So I'd go upstairs, watch TV, and wait for the geezer to do all his money.
Go on, son.
Fill your boots, son. Down you come.
Oh, that's class. I love it. I love it.
Where do we go from
mate,
here?
Do you know what I want to talk about? I know there's so much more I want to talk about, mate. We're going to have to do a part 2 of this because this is incredible, right? I want to talk about when you went out to India, okay? Yeah. So you've left Arsenal, you played for Hibs for a bit, a few other teams, and you had the chance to go out to India for Kerala Blasters for a bit.
Yeah, so this was at the end of my career. So I was playing for Barnet at the time. I would have been probably about 33, I think, something like that. And I was offered another year, but they offered me less money than what I was on the previous year, and I felt devalued because when I was at Barnet, I was the goalkeeping coach, the first team coach,
doing all
and
of
the
it.
goalkeeper.
Yeah,
and I won a title there, won the National League, and I felt part of the furniture there. I'd been there for a few years, and I just felt really disappointed. I loved the club, absolutely loved the punters. I really do love the club. But unfortunately, it just didn't seem fair, in my opinion. And I saw Steve Coppell got a job over in India, and I thought, you know what, I quite fancy that. So,
did you know Steve Coppell?
He signed me for Reading.
Obviously, of course.
So I was with Cops at Reading, so I know exactly what he's like. And he said, I managed to speak to Cops. I said, Cops, Stackie. I said, look, I've been offered a deal at Barnet. I said, I'm not really happy with it. I said, what are your plans over in India? Like, who are you bringing with you in terms of staff? He said, look, have you done your badges? I said, yeah, I've got my A licence, outfield and goalkeeping. I said, it's something I really want to start taking more seriously because I'm playing at Barnet and playing coach. Yeah. He said, you know what? He said, there might be something in that. He said, let me have a think about it. So he had a think about it. He said, are you fit? I said, yeah, I'm fit. He said, okay. He said, but I looked that you'd missed quite a bit of football last season, which I had. Yeah. With my hip, I had a torn labrum. So he'd done his research, Cops, to be fair.
Fair dues, yeah.
And he went, okay. He went, are you training? I said, yeah, I'm at Arsenal. I went in to train at Arsenal.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, so I was working with Sal Bibbo, who was the old Reading goalkeeping coach, and he said to Cops phoned him and said, how's Stackie looking? Sal went, yeah, he's looking sharp.
Yeah.
He went, oh, so he's fit. So then I played in a game for Barnet. I still hadn't signed my deal. Played in a pre-season friendly against a non-league side. Who was in the crowd? Cops.
Came to
what?
And he's going out to India.
Yeah,
you think it's just like a payday. You think he's going out there, it's a payday. He don't really care. Like he's going out, he's going to get paid. He'll do it for however he needs to do it.
He wanted to know that I was still fit because in India, I was going as a player coach. So I think he needed to know that I was still physically ready and able to play, as well as obviously being able to coach. So yeah, so in the end, I wanted to go. My heart was set. So I went to India. I didn't see my kids for 6 months. I saw my missus, funny enough, she came over while I was over there. So that was tough.
Yeah.
But what a place.
Really?
What an experience, mate. Like honestly, the Indian people, so humble.
Yeah.
Oh, they do, and it's so kind. They were like, it was unreal. It was unreal. Some of it was crazy. We'd fly everywhere to games. We were living in a hotel.
Yeah.
And we used to. I remember the bus broke down. The minibus broke down to the airport. We're all jumping on mopeds. We're flagging down mopeds. We're jumping on the back of people's mopeds on the way. No crash helmet.
So who's the owner? What's the owner's name?
Sachin Tendulkar.
So it's Sachin Tendulkar, who he's a billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy's a billionaire.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Biggest sports star ever.
I think so.
In
Yeah.
India.
Oh, without doubt.
Oh, in India, yeah. Like
Miles.
worldwide, you're talking, up there. Honestly.
Yeah. Sachin Tendulkar. Yeah. So he owned it. He owned a football club. So when we first got over there, it's a big deal. The ISL it's like mental. When you're over there, you don't realise here because it probably doesn't get a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
So I've done a little bit of research. I spoke to a few people about like the league, how it works, and like standard and whatever else. And Kerala Blasters, they're based in the south of India, and they get 80,000 people.
Jeez.
At home games.
You don't hear about this, do you?
And I'm at the end of my career, or coming sort of on the way down, if you like. I'm thinking, I thought them days were gone.
Yeah.
I thought I'd never play in front of 80,000.
Yeah.
Like what? And I'm getting the opportunity. So I thought, well, why am I not going to do that? And when we got there, we arrived. We felt like a movie star. There was cameras everywhere. It was all like, it was glitz game. It was like you felt like proper superstars.
Yeah, really.
And I didn't think I'd ever. I was trying to have a Barnet.
Yeah.
Like 6 months earlier.
A few thousand max.
Like if that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now there's 80,000 people. I'm sitting down having lunch with Sachin Tendulkar, like when he like, met the squad first of all, and managed to get to an Indian Super League final.
Decent.
Saved a penalty in the final. We unfortunately lost to Calcutta, but it could have ended much earlier than that.
Why?
Yeah,
I've got a story coming here. Come on,
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
So I was nearly on the way home. To be fair, you kind of know what I'm like. If I've got something on my chest, I do like to get it off. So I was a player coach, and there was a few English boys: Michael Chopra, Aaron Hughes.
Whilst you were there?
Northern Irish lads, yeah.
Nice, yeah, that's handy, isn't it?
Another lad called Antonio German, who was at QPR. I think he was at Brentford as well, and he was a West London boy, to be fair. And he was the one I spoke to before I went over there to find out what it was like. And he was good as gold when I spoke to him, before I got over there. And when we got over there, I've got to be careful when it's hard to get the balance, because I'm a player, so I want to be with you because we're teammates. But I'm also coaching, so I need to know where that line is.
Yeah.
That I can't
always be there. You
can't always be there, but I need to. I've got to enforce rules as well.
Yeah,
if someone's not doing something right, I have to be the one. If I see it, because I'm not doing my job and I'm letting the gaffer down, because I can't let players get away with things if it's not right. Yeah. So Antonio German kept wearing like the wrong kit down for breakfast. I had caps on, not allowed caps, not allowed this, not allowed that. He kept doing that. I was like, he's really
mate, that's sloppy. That is annoying. Like
yeah.
you still see it nowadays, and they know what they're doing. Like you know, there's a dress code. You know, you've got to be somewhere on time, wearing the right gear and stuff. And yet it's like they're trying to provoke a little bit of a come on, mate.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Just play by the rules. It's not hard.
I don't get that. Yeah, I mean that jars me a little bit, but yeah. So he kept just basically just doing things he shouldn't be doing, and it was grating on me a little bit. And we lost our first game away to North East, got beat 1-0 I think, and then we got beat a second game. So after the game, I said, look, and they all speak really good English, by the way, and they're from different parts of the world: French, Senegalese, Haitian, Indian. I said, look, lads, I played in the game. I said, look, collectively, we're not creating enough chances. I said, we've got to work really hard to take more risks higher up the pitch and to have more shots on goal, get more crosses in the box. And Antonio went, you got to start keeping clean sheets. I went, what? He went, well, you ain't keeping clean sheets. I said, listen, I said, it's the collective. I said, we as a group. And he carried on and carried on. I'm going now. I'm going. I'm like, right. I said, Wally, I said, do us a favour. I said, tell Antonio to be quiet and to shut up. I said, because I'm going to whack him. Wally went, no. He said, don't. He said, just leave him. He'll be all right. I said, no, Wally. I said, I'm telling you now. I said, do him a favour and tell him to stop. Carried on. I've gone out. I actually went outside to the stadium to give myself 5 minutes.
A bit of fresh air. Come on, calm it down.
Come back in. Sorted all that. He's kept going.
He's had another bar.
I'm like that. Get me out of here,
Antonio, mate. Pick your battles, geez. Come on.
So I was putting my gear on, and I'm like, I just can't. I can't get him out of my head.
So you've had a shower at this point. Yeah. You're about to get changed.
He's left before me. So I've had a shower, got changed. Obviously, where I've gone out, he's probably getting ready. He's made his way to the bus. So I'm making my way back on the coach, and there was this tunnel. Stated there's, I don't know how many people outside. So Star Sports is like our Sky Sports, right? So they covered the game. Sachin Tendulkar he's like God. There's more publicity surrounding our football club than it's like a media frenzy every game. So I'm walking on a coach. I'm still like fuming, and as I'm walking on the coach, he said something again. But he's with 3 other teammates. So with that, I said, what? He went, mate. I just went, bang. So I whacked him down the tunnel. As soon as I've hit him, I thought, that could cost me. But I know what.
Have you sparked him out?
He's not unconscious, but he's hurt.
Yeah.
He's bad here. He's bad here. So the other boys he
ain't trying to hit you back, no?
They were like, oh my God. The other boys couldn't believe it. But it was going to happen because it was just at boiling point. So I've hit him, and then I've just picked my bag up and just walked on the bus, really, basically as if nothing had happened. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. I'm on the bus, and Bhavisha, who's Sachin Tendulkar's like PA, has come running on the bus. She's frantic. Steve Coppell's sitting in front of me. I haven't told Cops what's happened. So she's come running on the bus. She went, Steve, you're not going to believe it. She went, Stackie has punched. And bearing in mind, he was a star player the previous season. He was top goal scorer. So I've just whacked our top goal scorer. And I'm meant to be a coach. And there's loads of things so loads of things are going against me. Cops turned around and went, what's happened? I went, I told Wally to tell him, but he said, what you done? I said, I've whacked Antonio. He went, right, stay. So they basically, when he got back on the bus, it was like, someone standing there, so like nothing could happen. Let's get back to the hotel. When you get back to the hotel, Stackie, you're to go straight up in your room. You can't have dinner with him. Yeah,
just in case.
We need to sort this out, get to the bottom of it. So my missus was due to be coming over about 3 days later. I phoned up Nat. I said, how was the game? I said, yeah, we got done. How was it? I said, I've hit someone. She went, she was like, what? I said, yeah, I know. I said, she went, you never learn. I went, I know. She went, so what's happening? I said, well, I think I'll be coming home. She went, nah, don't say that. She went, really? I said, yeah. I said, I think that could be me. I said, I can't believe it. I said, what an idiot. Like, because I've basically put at risk, like, basically my family, really.
Yeah.
Because I've gone over there to, embrace a new culture, a new league, be successful, whole new experience.
How long have you been out there when you
been there? We'd been in India we'd been to Thailand for pre-season, and then it was our second game. I've been there a month. So I'm on the phone to her, and I'm like, I'm saying, like, can you cancel them flights if I have to come home? Like, basically get your money back. She's like, what are you going to do when you come back? And I'm like, babe, I haven't even thought about that yet. I'm like, but I'm thinking, oh no, like the money that I've basically could accumulate one Amir, it was not life-changing money, but it was a good salary for 6 months. It was like, it gave us, it was good for us. It was good to us. So I'm on the bed, all this is going through my mind. because apparently Bavicia's gone mad, but they've got it on camera. Star Sports have got camera down.
What are you chinning?
Oh no.
So they've got it on camera. So
have you ever seen it?
Tunnel. No, they just Sachin. I think Sachin was heavily involved with Star
Pulled a few
Sports.
plugs. That's it. That'll do.
So we're not going to air that.
Yeah.
That definitely can't be aired because it's obviously it doesn't
team.
reflect well on his football club.
Yeah.
So it never got aired, but I knew it was filmed because there was a big palaver because they didn't want it to go live.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting upstairs in my bed and I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? Next minute the door goes. So it was like this. He was like head of security, and he was with this other guy called Solly, and he said, "We'd like to bring you upstairs. Sachin is waiting for you."
The big boy.
Sachin, the owner, wants to see me. I'm getting nice curtains. Big man wants to see me. I'm done. And I've gone upstairs. It's like you go upstairs to this room. So it's the Crown Plaza, I think we're staying at. His room took up the whole of the
top floor.
It was a joke. There's everything in there. Like, you can't imagine how big this room is. Sachin was just sitting there like that in this chair with like 2 security guards. Wally Downs is sitting in there. Wally Downs and Steve Coppell, I think, are both sitting in there. So I've come in. There was another guy in there as well. I think he was part of the club. How are you, Mr. Stack? I said, I've been better. Antonio was sitting on the sofa as well, like opposite each other. How was the game? Disappointed, talking about the game thing. It's not a bad start. I said, he said, so just talk me through what happened, Graham. I said, Mr. Tendulkar, I said, before we talk about what happened, I want to tell you how lucky I am to be here. I said, I love the club. I said, I've left my wife and my 4 children to come and experience something different, to be successful, to sort of embrace the culture and the environment, improve as a coach. He said, so, and that was true. It was all true.
Yeah.
But what I didn't want to do is just go straight into the nitty gritty and tell him that I've hit someone, because actually there's the bigger thing is behind it. There is a story behind it. I'm not there for the money.
Yeah.
I don't want to go home.
This is
I
serious.
want to tell him how important it is that I want to stay, and regardless of what I've done, yes, I shouldn't have done it. But
he'll have a lot of players coming out there for a payday.
Oh, there was loads.
And he'll at the end of the day, it sounds harsh, but mercenaries they are. They'll be coming out for a payday. They don't really care. They're not trying to nut. They're just trying to get paid, and that'll do, kind of thing. And you're just trying to let him know.
Yeah,
I'm taking this seriously.
Yeah. And I said to him, I said, look, Mr. Tendulkar, I said, look, I said, you're one of the greatest. I said, you've played in high pressured environments. I said, you've played with teammates. You've probably fallen out with teammates. I said, there's no doubt in that. I said, because the best and the winners, they have an edge, and they've got standards, and they've got morals, and they've got principles. And I said, I'm that man as well. I said, I don't want to be disrespected. And I said, I want to, because I respect people and I speak to them properly. I said, but one thing I can't accept is someone being rude and disrespectful to me. I said, and unfortunately, I said, I have reacted. I said, I hold my hands up. I said, I did hit him. And I said, I can only apologise for my actions. He went, Mr. Stack, he said, we've all done it. I'm like that. Oh, what?
Yeah.
He went, we've all been in them situations.
He's calling you Mr. Stack.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Or Graham, Mr. Stack.
Yeah,
one of the two. So I was like, oh my God, he has been there. Because of course he has.
Yeah, of course.
Most of us have.
Mate, yeah.
Because that's just the environment we're in.
Happens,
that's just
mate.
sport.
It happens.
That's sport. It happens a lot. So he was good as gold, and in the end he said to Antonio, he went, apologise to Mr. Stack. I'm going, what? I'm going, Jesus, I've just absolutely turned this one round. So Antonio was going, no, I'm not saying sorry. He said, I'm not saying sorry. He said, do you want to go home? Like, in other words, go back to England. And he was like, well, no. And he went, we'll shake his hand. I went, there you go.
That's a good point.
We actually didn't speak to each other while we were over there. There was a real dislike of each other. We'd been in a lift together. We wouldn't speak.
Oh, that's
horrible. But I've met him since. And he ain't a bad lad.
Yeah.
He ain't a bad lad. He's a good lad. Listen, he would look back and he would probably definitely know he should have done things differently and behaved differently. And obviously myself looking back, I think
we've all been there, mate.
I wouldn't, knowing what was at stake, and I did know it was at stake, but that kind of that is me. I have got better.
Yeah.
I've got better at sort of biting my tongue and sort of getting on with it. But that was scary when I thought, what have I done?
You're going home.
I thought I'm going home.
Stacky, listen, mate. Right, I know we could go on forever. Right, we're gonna have to call it a day here. We are.
Do we have to?
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to do a part. What we're gonna have to do?
We've not talked about Belgium.
No. We can do that in the
about-
next one. We are, because we have to do a part 2, mate. Because half the stories that you sent us and we've talked about off of camera, mate, are outrageous, and we need to go through them, mate. We do. I think that this first part of the pod, right, I love that bit because it's like the human part. Yeah, it's a setup. It's like letting people know who you are as a guy and all the guy. So like you might hear stories about Stackie and think he's a bit of a wide boy. He's this, he's that, he's a loose cannon. He's not, mate. Honestly, he's absolute gold. He's a big old softie, and he's gold, mate.
So next time we are going to touch on loans. Belgium, that was interesting.
Yep.
Edgar Davids at Barnet.
Yep.
Hibs.
The lone one was the punch one where the fan ran on. We'll talk about it another time. Don't talk about it now, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. That was brilliant.
Stacky, we're doing a part 2, mate.
Definitely.
I can only thank you enough for coming in today. That was absolutely belting. We always finish every podcast. Please look into that camera. I'll start us off. Up the Fozcast.
Up the Fozcast.
Up the Fozcast.
Yeah, Stackway.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Well done,
class.
mate.
That was quality.